people. I am getting myself ready for the new year. I'm prepping my journals, I'm figuring out my goals and habits, refining the areas of my life and where I want to go with them. I've made a podcast episode reflecting on my 2025 lessons. I've made a vision board for this year and I'll go through how I made that and what areas I put on it. And I'm going to read the letter I wrote myself at the start of 2025, see what came true and if what I was expecting to happen or what I wanted to happen did happen. And I'll be writing myself a new one to open it in 12 months. Don't stress if you're thinking we're nearly halfway through January and you haven't started. I think you can do this at any point in the year because it's better to do it now than never. It's never too late to get organized, to refine the direction of your life you want to be going in and having a look at how you're planning things and how you can do it better. I think obviously it is good to do this at the start of the year because then you can set yourself up, you can get straight to it. You can be working towards your goals from day 1 or day 10. And it's a really nice thing to look back on and see the progress that you've made, how far you've come, where you came from to where you are now. And I think the only way you can get to where you want to be is if you have figured out what works best for you in terms of planning and goal tracking and reflection and all of that. If you know what works for you and you do it, that's how you're going to get to where you want to be. So we're going to start by looking at my collection of journals that I use all at the same time. They all serve different purposes. I do believe that for some people it works to have it all in one, but for me I need to lock into the different areas of my brain, the different purposes that each journal has for me, and that allows me to make a lot of progress in a lot of different areas because I can kind of visually see it all out in front of me. These are my 7 journals. For the purpose of the video, I've sticky noted them. We'll start with this one. This is the one that I use every day. It is my everyday recounts and horoscope, so checking the astrology of each month. I like to use this in the mornings or at night to reflect on the day that I've had or the last few days that I've had, what happened, what I'm grateful for. It's mainly a journal to look back on to remember what I was up to. This was my 2025 one. This is my 2026 one. I have a new one for 2026 to add to the collection. This is my beautiful boyfriend Dominic's habit tracker that he's just released. I'm using this, like he has demonstrated here, to document my habits and sleep for the month of January and my memorable moments. The month of January I'm tracking taking my tablets because I am terrible at remembering to take them. I'm trying to get back into learning Spanish, which we're going pretty strong so far. Checking how many times I'm going for a run and going to the gym. I am tracking my weight. I don't think this is necessary for most people, but in terms of my health issues, I'm trying to actually put on weight at the moment, so this is important for me. And I also am trying to get early bedtimes, which as you can tell is not happening. Section here can be for your bad habits, like he's written here. This is just me tracking how many hours I get each night because I'm trying to be up in this end, and I'm currently around here. This was rough. He's got some great pages to get you thinking about where you want to be going in your life, what's holding you back, what goals you have, all of that. This is my weekly scheduling journal. This is this week's. Obviously, I probably should actually make this a habit because I do not do this ever. It is all in my notes on my phone, which is not helpful. I need to start using this. It is great because I get to write my to-do list for each day and all the different things that are in my schedule when I do use this. This is my podcast scripting journal. I love to write a script that I can read for my podcast, and this is where I've started doing it for this year. This was my most recent episode on what I learned in 2025. I am currently planning the next 2. This one, little sneaky peek, making friends in your 20s, get excited. I'm going to record that in the next couple of days. This one is my therapy journal. I take it to any therapy sessions that I go to, and I also use it to psychoanalyze myself, to go through events that have happened, how they made me feel, how I can improve on them next time, what kind of came up emotionally. I'm not going to be opening this one, sorry, but as a psychology student, this is a very important journal for me. I will say what happened, how it made me feel, what worked, what didn't work, what I can do differently next time. Sometimes I use it to get to the root of an issue I'm having, like this, where is this insecurity coming from? Why am I feeling this way? What is this triggering? And I just write constant stream of thought, trying to answer those questions again and again until I get to the root cause. This one is looking a bit battered and bruised. I made her at the end of 2024. I didn't know what I was going to use her for, and I've started using it for content ideas for my reels and YouTube. You will see that I cut this out of a magazine and it ended up being the name of my podcast, so I feel like that was a big foreshadowing. It's really messy, it's just my real ideas, sounds that I wanted to use. Last but definitely not least is about my personal brand that I'm developing and all the different like aesthetics and elements that are part of that, keeping track of it in here, planning it in here, developing it in here, so that it can come through in my podcast and my content. So this is my everyday 2026 journal. I got her off Amazon. She's got this beautiful little tree on her, which I thought was very symbolic. She has stained pretty easily. I don't know if you can tell, but that's okay. I've started her off by writing about the numerology and astrology for 2026, including Western and Chinese astrology. They're all saying very similar things, which is very exciting. Chinese astrology, it is the year of the fire horse. Speed, passion, freedom, transformation, courageous action. Numerology, it's universal year of one, so that's a big beginning, major reset. Western astrology, it's all about starting over and becoming the best version of ourselves, reclaiming our power and having a new beginning. I've done my goals for the year and my 2026 ins and outs. I have yet to write a letter to myself to open on December 31st this year. She's going to go in this little envelope, and these are my habits that I'm trying to consistently do in 2026. This is my beautiful big whiteboard that I have no idea how I'm meant to talk and hold this at the same time. These are the finalized areas of my whiteboard: my psych study, my work, my piano, my YouTube account, running, podcast, reels, and painting. These are all the areas of my life that I'm trying to progress in 2026. I think the sticky notes spices up a little bit and make it a bit more interesting to look at and grab my attention. And they're easily removable, just like a whiteboard marker would be. This is my vision board. This is the back of my vision board. I think it is okay to be private about your goals and what you're hoping to achieve and where you're hoping to get to. I think it'll be cool to do a little video on the end of the year and seeing what achieved of it, but I think it's good to tell people your goals sometimes, and other times I was listening to a podcast and it's talking about how it gives you the dopamine hit before you've even achieved it. So sometimes it's better to not tell anyone until you've achieved it. You might affect your motivation to complete the goal because you've already gotten the reward in a sense. I'm actually going to write on the back of this the different areas that I included so you can get a visual diagram of how to lay out yours if you want some inspo. Okay, I've just roughly drawn this out, but the main part of your vision board should be a quote or theme in the middle. I think it gives you kind of an overarching vibe for your year and influences all the rest of this. And then it's up to you what sections you include in this. These are the ones that I have: career, lifestyle, work, travel, habits, relationships, and I like to include quotes over the board in that kind of match this main theme here. And then you can also kind of have like numerical values, materialistic items, things that you want. I try and make them smaller and kind of like place them on last. And then the background of this is just all the images pasted on from magazines, from Pinterest, that make up these different areas. I like to have images of how I want to, like based on myself, whether it's clothing or fitness or accessories, hair color, tattoos, jewelry, all of that. Personal style, I guess. And then for habits, it would just be images of running or netball or journaling, making it an easily recognizable image that represents that habit. Definitely do your research. You can look up other people's vision boards. Pinterest is my ride or die. She is perfect for making these vision boards. She has the quotes, she has the images, and then she has the boards that other people have created. And a lot of people make a 2025 vision board. You can put all the images into that board that you're going to use on this physical vision board. Make sure you save them all to a board on Pinterest before you print them out, so that you've got this one in your room or in your study. Then you also have one that you can screenshot to make your lock screen your home screen. You can have it on your laptop background, on your devices as well as in person. So you're really just being hit with these images of where you want to be and who you want to be constantly. I think that really helps you with your progress. Now, this is my scrapbook that I started at the start of 2025. I am so glad that I made this scrapbook. I love looking back at all the pictures and all the things I got up to, and I definitely think if you want to do something in the new year, make one of these. I got it from Kmart for like $10. I just print the pictures off. I put them on a Google Doc and size them all up and then print them, cut them, stick them on. I do about 4 pages for each month, and I do love having my little magazine cut out title for each month. The opening pages is the letter to myself, and then a little pocket to put in trinkets and cut out things from the year that I wanted to save, tickets, all of that, such as my little Let Them Eat Cake wristband. I didn't go this year, so sad. For each month I did a little title page and a little spread. We only got to April, but that's okay. I'm still filling her out. We have started June. We're basically halfway through the year. I will keep filling her out so that she's done. Now, this is the letter to myself that I wrote. Feel free to skip this if this doesn't interest you. And I'll have a few clips after this on how to write your one for the future you in 12 months. Letter to my December self. How was 2025? How did uni go? I feel really good about this year. I started with momentum I built in December with work and my social life, so that's been fun and fulfilling. I'm loving seeing my kids at work and I'm finding my place there and more authority. I wonder when I left. What job did I do next? I want to run more. I'm loving my op shop purchases of clothes and things for my room for when I move out. I've learned how to enjoy being slow and just staring at something or lying in. I hope my social circle and life as a whole has expanded. I hope living out of home is fun and that I get a lot of life experience from it. I hope I have saved and am living for the future and the present. I'm excited to be near the city more for uni and explore those suburbs. I want to have multiple friend groups covering my interests. I hope I live with my grandma and have a great time. I hope I go to Spain or Bali or New Zealand. I hope I learn languages again. I bet my babysitting kids have grown. I hope I've gone to a bunch of concerts and that my Taylor Swift fan account has hit 10k followers and that we've gotten Rep TV. I hope I've done a lot on my bucket list, maybe done consistent therapy or Chinese medicine. I hope I keep making progress and growth in my friendship and develop a support network. I hope I've had fun and feel like I've lived and am living. No matter what life is, it's always going to be beautiful if you stop to look around you. I'm proud of us. So that's obviously very cool to read, and it's so funny that when I wrote that I had no idea about what was going to happen. It was nice to remember where I was when I was writing this and what I was up to, and to realize how much of my life has changed. It's funny that I say I wonder when I left working at the daycare, because I think I left it like a couple weeks after I wrote this in February at the start of 2025, but that was necessary for me moving down here. I think I did a lot of groundwork in the months leading up to 2025 so that like I say here, I learned how to slow down. Like, I think that really helped my 2025. I was able to slow down in moments and take time to just sit and appreciate where I was or enjoy what I was doing at that moment and not feel rushed. Although I was definitely rushing a lot. It's really cool how much my social circle and community has expanded and how many new wonderful people in my life that when I wrote this I had no idea I would meet, and now I can't imagine my life without them, and the impact they've all had on my life has just been insane. I don't know what I'd do without them now. I was so very excited to be living back down here near the city, and I can confirm it has been so much fun. It's so much easier to get around and explore. I definitely didn't do as much solo exploring as I thought I would, but I think that's okay because I definitely have had my fair share of alone time, and it's been really nice to have had such a jam-packed 2025 with socializing and events. But I think going into 2026, I want to get back on my little solo adventures. I didn't travel to the places I wanted to travel to, but I did go to Japan, and that has always been on my bucket list, so I'm so glad that I did that. But I reckon these countries are definitely on my 2026 bucket list. I can proudly say that my sense of self and confidence has improved, and I think I owe that to the people in my life that are supporting me, because I'm definitely the most myself I have ever been and the happiest I've ever been. And I think having people around you that support you and help you live the way that you want to live and let you be interested in what you want to be interested in has a massive impact on your confidence and self-worth. I think the coolest part is that there was a lot of internal work done in the years leading up to 2025, and a lot of alone time or a lot of slow time where I didn't do a whole heap in terms of external adventures, traveling. It was a lot of internal work, and I really wanted 2025 to be full of experiences and shared experiences with other people, and I got that. I was literally the busiest I've ever been in my life. Had so many things to go to with my friends, and so many lovely nights out and adventures and travel and road trips, and not even those spontaneous things, but the things that I put in my schedule, like run club and social netball, working a job that I'm passionate about as a nanny, all kind of contributed to me feeling like I was properly starting to live, to go out into the world, having fun, making progress in my projects and careers. It might be hard for some of you to comprehend that that was my goal for 2025 if that's something you've always been doing, but I have had my share of setbacks and health issues and not so enjoyable experiences that took a lot of time to overcome and meant I spent a lot of time inside my house. It's very cool to see myself out of my house, living for myself, having a community, being connected to others, going out and giving it a crack, whatever it is. I have done that in many different areas, tried a lot of different things that scared me, that were new to me, and it has led me to be in a much happier position than I was when I wrote this, and have a much more fulfilled life and have a lot more to do and see, and a lot more people to speak to and share things with. I think that's really cool. So I'll quickly show you how I'm going to structure my new letter to myself in December of 2026/January 2027. So these are just some questions that I structured my letter around. The first one is, where am I right now? What life is like? Because I think this is really cool to look back on. The second one is, what do I hope happens in 2026 and what do I want to achieve? This is kind of more around goals and aspirations. Next is places I want to see, experiences I want to have, events I want to go to. Then I've written, where do I think I'll end up? And I think this is a part of visualization and putting more intention and belief into this. How I want to feel at the end of the year. Reminders I'm currently telling myself to overcome, insecurities and limits. I love this one because you can look back on how your confidence and self-worth has improved, or the challenges that you've overcome. And then at the bottom of the page, I thought of some areas of life you could describe for that first dot point when you're talking about what life is like currently. Okay, that is all I have for you today. I hope this has inspired you to start planning your new year and think about what you want to achieve and where you want to be in 12 months from now. Let me know how you go with making your vision board and setting up your journals, writing a letter to yourself. It's definitely all about what works for you, how big you want your vision board to be, if you want it to be physical, if you want it to be on your phone, how many journals you want to use. I do recommend having at least one. It is very beneficial to brain dump and to get things out of your head and your heart and onto the page so that you can have clarity and not have things weighing on your mind. Put them there to think about later, document to reflect on, but definitely use them in the way that works for you. Remember to push your limits, set your expectations high, set your goals even higher. Believe that you can achieve all of this. Don't think about your vision board and your goals as what you want to happen. Think about it as what will happen, what your life will look like. That helps you put a lot of intention into what you're putting on there. I already am looking at mine and thinking I need to take a few things off or put a few more on to make it a bit more refined to what I want my life to look like. Good luck with it all. I hope you all have an incredible 2026.